You know, even if you try to doubt it, that person tried, forced smiles, threw themselves into other arms, insisted on stories that never really began, but nothing stuck, nothing held. No one filled the space that still has your name on it. You remain there, even in silence, even far away, even quiet. It's your scent that still comes back without warning. It's your voice that still echoes in the ordinary days. It's you who still weighs heavily when everything stops. That person tries to play it cool, but they're not at peace. They're not okay. They haven't moved on. They look for you, even when they pretend not to. They feel you, even when they say they've moved on. They avoid you because they know that if they look again, they won't be able to resist. There's something trapped there, and it's close to overflowing. You're still the answer that this person can't face. But they are getting closer and closer to admitting it. You feel it before you sleep. You don't need proof or messages or replies, because it's something that pulses inside, a kind of connection that nobody can explain or break. That person tries to forget. They struggle to let go. Time passes, days pile up, other names appear, new stories arise, but none fit, not one. Because the measure is still you. You are the name that still carries weight when it appears. You are the memory that still cuts through the heart in the middle of the night. You are the trace that remains even after the goodbye. That person knows, even if they deny it, even if they run away, even if they hide from themselves, they know. They know that no one else has been able to provoke what you provoked. They know that no one else looked at them the way you did. No one touched them with the same presence. No one stayed, even after leaving. And you feel it too. Don't lie to me, because even while trying to move on, you also feel it. You feel it when a name comes up and doesn't awaken anything in you. You feel it when you try to force enthusiasm, but your body doesn't respond. You feel it when something beautiful appears, but you can't give yourself fully, because there's something left unresolved, something that hasn't died. And no matter how much you try to rationalize, bury, or ignore it, that absence still resides within you. You've tried to tell yourself it's just a phase, that it was only a chapter, that the world keeps moving on. But deep down, there's a period that you've never managed to place, because there's something in this story that never came to an end. It just paused, frozen in time. But it didn't finish. This person, they still think of you in detail. They still revisit you in memory, often unknowingly, when they hear a song, when they catch a specific scent, when someone speaks in the same tone, or when they lie down at night and everything goes silent. You appear. And the worst, or perhaps the best, is that fighting it is futile, because the feeling hasn't passed. It's just hidden beneath routine, pride, and distractions. But it's still there, steadfast, breathing softly, waiting for a crack to return. And that crack is approaching. Have you noticed it? The signs, the indirect messages, the strange dreams? That sudden urge to look back for no reason. Because this person is closer than they seem, more open than they appear, more tired of resisting than ever. They don't say it, but they feel it. And their body has already started to confess what their mind still tries to hide. This is how the return begins, in discomfort, in unvoiced longing, in involuntary comparisons, in the absence that cries out in random moments. You are still everything they seek. They do engage, yes, they try. But in the middle of a kiss, they think of you. In the midst of an embrace, they remember your touch. In the conversation, they notice the emptiness of absence. Because what you two had was not ordinary, it wasn't shallow, it wasn't a phase. It was rooted. And when something takes root, it's not easy to uproot. Even if you cut it off at the surface, the root remains alive, beneath the earth, waiting for a new season. And it's coming. You feel it too. There's something changing in the air, a kind of energy that makes you remember for no reason. It makes you feel like something is about to happen, but you still don't know what. It's as if the entire universe is pulling you back, even if it's just on the edges, even if it's one step at a time. It's not a coincidence. It never was. She's searching for you. Even if it's in silence, even if it's through her gaze, even if it's in her thoughts, sooner or later she will admit it. Pride won't hold up anymore. The facade will fall. The heart will speak. And when it does, it won't be with half measures. It will be with thirst. with truth, with the weight of everything that's been bottled up for too long. Can you handle this? Because when she comes back, it won't be easy. It will come loaded with everything, with longing, with pain, with a confession that's been stuck, with pent-up desire. And she will look at you as if she never forgot, as if she always knew, as if she's finally surrendering. Are you ready to hear everything that's never been said? Because she will speak. Sooner or later, she will. Maybe in a shy way, maybe with a small gesture, or in an apology disguised as some casual chat. But it will come, and you will know it's real. You'll feel it in her gaze, in the tone of her voice, in her quickened breath. You will recognize it, because even after everything, she's still searching for what she only finds in you. And even if the world has spun 1,000 times, the point of return is still the same. You. Don't respond now. Just feel. Breathe. You're still the person she's looking for, even if she won't admit it. Not because she didn't have options, she did. And some seemed good, beautiful, welcoming, promising, but none were you. None had the weight of your gaze, the strength of your presence, the calm chaos that only you knew how to create. You were the place where she could strip away her fears, where pride had no place, where she let the mask fall, even without realizing it. And now she's trying to recreate that, trying to force connections, trying to find in other places what she only found in you. But everything slips away. Everything feels shallow. Everything keeps reminding her of you. She might even pretend that she doesn't feel a thing. She can use cold words, quick responses, strategic silences, but inside it's a wreck. You've become a kind of absence she doesn't know how to fix, a name that lingers in her emotional memory, a reference, a before and after. Even without saying it, she compares. And the comparison always favors you, not because you were perfect, but because you were real. You showed what true presence is, and once someone experiences that, they start to feel strange about the rest of life. She tried to rationalize, to convince herself that it's over, to distract herself with new stories. But it's all temporary, all superficial. Deep down, what she really wanted was to hear you say, "I'm still here." I couldn't move on either. I still look for you, even in silence. You've felt that too, haven't you? That urge to send a message without knowing what to say, to browse her profile just to feel something, to listen to that painful song that also brings comfort, because the bond wasn't broken, just asleep. And now it's waking up. You notice the signs in your body, in the sudden anxiety, in the inexplicable longing, in the feeling that something is about to happen, but you don't yet understand what. It's her. It's her energy touching yours. It's your connection recognizing itself again. This connection doesn't rely on words. It never did. It was something tangible in the air, in the silence, in the gestures. And now she misses that with an intensity she can no longer ignore. The attempts to forget have brought you back. The escapades turned into calls. The distance turned into pain. And she can no longer sustain the lie that she has moved on. She thought it was just a matter of pushing a little more, holding on for another week. But longing doesn't respect logic. It breaks reason, dissolves pride, and shows that in the end only what is true remains. And you remain. In the memory, in the desire, in the absence. You are what still stirs, what still attracts, what still matters. You are what she cannot erase. Even if she tries every day, and she tries, but the truth weighs too much. And she can no longer pretend that she doesn't feel. You sensed this in the air, didn't you? Maybe that's why you felt that tightness in your chest lately. Maybe that's why things seem a bit out of place. Maybe that's why you came here. She has already started to come back, not with steps yet, but with thoughts, with intention, with that restlessness that appears without warning and doesn't go away. She's starting to doubt her choices, to rethink the paths she took, to silently ask herself why she let you go, or worse, why she allowed you to stay away. That question comes every day at different times, and it always leaves a knot, a weight, a what if she can no longer ignore. You are still the harbor she returns to, even when she tries to pull away. You're still the reference for everything that was real, for what wasn't a game, for what wasn't rushed, for what was just raw feeling, unfiltered, without a facade. She misses you in the details that no one sees, in the way you listened, in the silence that didn't pressure, in the calm of your gaze. It's there she feels it most, in what was simple, in what seemed small and now feels irreplaceable. And the more she tries to move on, the more you appear, not in everything, but in the parts that truly matter, when it's time to lie down, when the laughter ends, when the new company no longer fills the void. You return, like a whisper, like an urge, like a presence she could never shake off. She can leave, pretend, divert, but you're still there. As if she left something of hers in you, and something of yours in her. Because she did. You both marked each other in a way that cannot be undone. It's impossible to pretend it was light. It's impossible to treat it as if it was little, because it wasn't. And now all of this begins to weigh, not to hurt you, but to show you she never stopped feeling you, even when she didn't reply to you, even when she chose silence, even when she smiled in another photo. You were still there, haunting the most sensitive corners, invading her thoughts at the most unexpected moments. And there's something you need to know. She is in conflict, a conflict as silent as it is brutal. On one side, pride, the reasons, the fears. On the other, longing, the desire, the truth. And this truth is winning. Slowly, but it is. She can no longer sustain the version of the story where you stayed in the past. Because you didn't stay, you are present, steadfast, disturbing. Provoking feelings she no longer knows how to hide. And the more she tries to move on, the more she realizes she is stuck at the same point, the point where she lost you. Do you feel that too? Because her pain also cuts through you. Even without contact, you remain connected deep down. Her heart calls for yours, and yours has already started to respond. She is tired, but not in the physical way that can be solved with sleep. It's a different kind of exhaustion, silent, subterranean. Tired of pretending to have moved on, tired of feeding stories that don't warm her, tired of forcing herself to feel what she doesn't feel. She realized, it took time, but she realized that she might find distraction but not presence, that she might hear beautiful words but not feel truth. Because the truth remains you. You are what lingered after the noise. You are what remained after the rush. You are what she tries to replace with everything, and fails with nothing. And maybe you have doubted this. Maybe you believed that she erased you. Maybe you even started to get used to the idea that you are no longer missed. But I need to tell you, looking into your eyes, this has never been real. She built an armor. You saw it. She made sure to seem strong, indifferent, secure. But inside, it has always been an abyss. It has always been noise. It has always been you echoing everywhere. And now this is becoming impossible to hide. She feels your absence like a kind of dirty silence, the kind that bothers but no one mentions. And the more time passes, the more she understands. Losing you came at a high cost, not in pride, not in status, but in soul. Because your presence was what organized her world effortlessly. It was what made sense without needing an explanation. It was what reminded her of who she was, and when you left, she also lost parts of herself. She became disorganized, even if she smiled, even if she traveled, even if she held other hands. None of that rebuilt what was broken. She tried to convince herself that time would heal. She tried to turn you into a light memory. But you refused to be a memory. You continued to be a presence, and that changes everything because now she doesn't want to pretend anymore. Doesn't want to occupy spaces that don't belong to her, doesn't want to say, "I'm fine," when everything is crumbling inside. You are still the refuge, still the name that hurts and soothes, still the place where her breathing felt different, where her body rested, where her soul stopped fighting. And do you know why? Because you were the only one who saw everything, without filters, without masks, without a facade. You saw the traumas, the defenses, the flaws, the escapes, and even so, you stayed. You understood the absences, respected the silences, made a home where no one else dared to touch. And now, She misses that with an overwhelming force. She misses the peace that was hearing you, the presence that was being close to you, the freedom that was opening up without fear, because it was with you that she felt whole for the first time. And now everything she tries to live without you feels like a fragment, half a copy. She looks around and sees empty faces, words that don't touch, kisses that don't warm. And she wonders, why did I walk away from the one who saw me? Why did I distance myself from the one who understood me with a glance? She doesn't have the answer, but she has the regret, and he grows every day. Do you feel it too? That restlessness that won't go away? That sensation that something still needs to happen between you? This isn't fantasy. It's not neediness, it's a spiritual truth. There's a bond between you that hasn't been severed. It has been unraveled, yes, tested, shaken, but not cut. And she feels it now, with more clarity than ever. She remembers the way you used to say her name, the care you took with the details, the way you called her back to herself, and none of that has returned with anyone else. You remain what's missing, what completes, what provokes and soothes, what challenges and protects. And the truth is simple. She wants to come back, but she doesn't know how. She doesn't know if there's still room. She doesn't know if you still want her. She doesn't know if she's still welcome. She watches you in silence. She tries to guess if your heart still beats for her. She tries to protect herself from rejection, but she can't hide that she desires you again. Not just your body, but your gaze, your scent, your embrace that dissolved the world. She misses being looked at like you looked at her, being touched like you touched her, being called like only you called her. She misses being herself with you, and it might take a little longer. It might come with hesitation, with fear, with scars, but it will come. Because this longing is already greater than any defense. Are you ready for this reunion? If this touched you, comment here what you felt. Like, share it with someone who needs to read this, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.